Capitalism, an extremely flawed economic system. In my opinion, capitalism is not a sustainable system to run an entire society off of, because capitalism has some fundamental, flaws. You know, the main objective in capitalism is to obtain capital, gain money. And what is the main methodology to achieve this goal? Manipulation. That's the main methodology to obtain capital in a capitalistic society. Because for the most part, it's the most beneficial, it's the most efficient, it's the easiest way to obtain capital. If you look around, this entire society is based off manipulating people. How can I, trick this person or trick people to get them to buy something that they don't need so I can make money? Because I don't care about whether or not these people's lives are better off after selling them my product. No, I just want them to buy my product so I can get their money. It's not about bettering society. It's not about being a productive member of society. That is a myth perpetuated by the capitalistic oligarchs, the capitalistic ruling class, aka the government, big business, etc. It's this system in which they give you lies. They lie to you and sell you this big myth, this dream, the American dream. And that's bullshit. It's the American dream because you have to be asleep to believe it. So it's bullshit. They sell you these lies that if you work hard enough, they sell you this lie that if you work hard enough, you can be successful, right? They sell you this lie that, being a productive member of society, working for their corporations, makes you an honorable person, makes you, a productive member of society, when that's not the case at all. Capitalism hinders the progression of society because, let me use an example, right? Automation. We're at a technological advance to where machines can do the overwhelming majority of work nowadays, and they do. But the citizens are so stuck in their ways, their antiquated, obsolete mindset, that they need to be the ones doing these jobs, but so they can earn money. That the concept of money, which is just an abstraction, has been perpetuated into the minds of the youth, into the minds of adults, into the minds of an entire society, an entire civilization, to where this is the end all be all, when in actuality it's just a social construct created by the ruling class to control people, to get people to do and act out things and according to their plan and according to their goal. They want the populace to act in according to their desired preference. They don't want people thinking outside the prescribed consensus, because that, a critical thinking populace, they have a potential to revolt. And so the ruling class don't want a revolt. They want a dumbed down society that does what they're told. They want an obedient society. And so So back to my example, you know, people think that it's better off, society's better off with people doing these jobs, when in actuality a machine can do it far more efficient, far better than any human could ever possibly do it, because it's a machine. It's not a fallible human with emotions and, you know, limited strength and limited endurance and, you know, other variables, you know, such as, you know, what's going on in their mind, thoughts, emotions, you know, what's happening in their personal lives. See, a machine doesn't have these things. So a machine can make more output and be more efficient than these humans. But you know, you have these regressive people that think that are so stuck on the obsolete concept of jobs and money to where they're hindering the progression of society. You know, let me use another example. A homeless person, a panhandler, a bank robber, and a rich kid, right? The first example, a homeless person. If the point of humans gathering in societies is to help each other and promote and maintain and make sure that the welfare of our fellow human beings are met, right? Then why are there homeless people? Why are there starving people in an era of technological advance? We live in a world of technological advance to where, you know, homelessness and starvation should be an obsolete concept. It should be a totally antiquated, primitive concept that we just look back at and like, well, you know, that was the past. That's not how we live anymore. So, all right. So yeah, if the point of a government and the point of a society is to maintain the welfare of its citizens, then why are there homeless people? Oh yeah, because you can't make money off of these homeless people. See, it's not about being altruistic. It's not about being compassionate. It's about making money. It's about gaining capital at all costs. Because capitalism doesn't praise compassionate people. It doesn't praise, you know, humanism. It doesn't praise altruism. It doesn't praise any of these things. It praises, you know, just, you know, kill or be killed, eat or be eaten, you know, stepping over people, manipulation, lies, you know, the exploitation of human psychology, you know, exploiting innate human predispositions to generate revenue. You know, these companies, they spend billions of dollars, you know, in scientific research to specifically manipulate and exploit weaknesses in our brains to get us to buy things that we don't need and that are actually harming us. You know, for example, the cereal manufacturers, you know, the big food industry, you know, big food spends billions of dollars on scientific research to, you know, develop these algorithms to boost their profits. Like, for example, they will take the average height of, let's say, a 5-year-old and calculate that into their algorithm, take the average wingspan of a 5-year-old and calculate that, and then they will use that to determine where they put their cereal on the shelves at a grocery store, at the supermarket, to where their cereal is in the right place to where a 5-year-old it can just look at it and beg their parents to buy the cereal, right? You know, so it's just that eye level with that 5-year-old. You know, they spend, you know, all this money on, you know, exploiting our brains. For example, humans are predisposed to crave fat, sugar, and salt. So these companies spend this money on the scientific research to form what is called the bliss point, a point in which the perfect ratio of fat, sugar, and salt is met to where our brains are chemically addicted to these foods. And so now what you have is a concoction that nature never intended. See, our bodies are still used to, you know, our bodies are pretty much anatomically no different than they were, say, 100,000 years ago. So we're still evolved to do the things that we did 100,000 years ago. For example, you know, run across plains, you know, pick, you know, forage for food, hunt, you know, run from prey. You know, they didn't have McDonald's 100,000 years ago. There wasn't, you know, Twinkies 100,000 years ago. There wasn't Cheetos 100,000 years ago. So, you know, we're putting these things in our bodies. Well, you know, I don't want to get too deep into that one specific thing because I can do that in another video. But, you know, that whole entire, you know, concept, you know, that it's just about manipulation. You know, they sell you these lies that the hard work myth, that's bullshit, right? And I'll talk about that in the next video, so stay tuned.